How did the Aztecs build Tenochtitlan's ingenious floating gardens? Imagine living on a lake and growing your food right on the water. That's exactly what the Aztecs did with their floating gardens called Chinampas. These gardens helped feed a huge city in the middle of a lake. The Aztecs started by making a frame using wooden stakes driven into the lake's muddy bottom. These stakes formed rectangles, usually about 90 to 100 feet long and around 8 to 10 feet wide. The space between the rectangles was left open so canoes could pass easily. Then they wove flexible branches and trunks between the stakes to create a permeable wall. This wall kept the garden secure but still allowed water to flow through. Next, they filled the enclosed area with layers of lake sediment, mud, decaying plants, and soil dredged from the lake bottom. This mixture created rich, fertile land that floated just above the water. To keep the Chinampas stable, the Aztecs planted willow trees around the edges. Willows loved wet conditions, and their roots helped prevent erosion. The branches from these trees could also be used for baskets or fencing. The trees provided shade and created a microclimate that protected crops from frost. Even though these gardens seemed to float, they were actually anchored to the lake bed, so they didn't drift away. The Aztecs managed water levels with a system of aqueducts, dams, and sluice gates. These controlled the flow of fresh water from springs, preventing floods and keeping the gardens watered during dry seasons. Sometimes, workers carried water manually to the Chinampas when needed. This smart system allowed them to harvest multiple crops each year, including corn, beans, and squash. The Chinampas were incredibly productive, drought-resistant, and less prone to pests. They provided a steady food supply for Tenochtitlan and other lake cities like Xochimilco and Texcoco. Families maintained these gardens for generations, making farming a key part of Aztec life. From a Latin cultural view, these floating gardens show how indigenous people adapted their environment with clever engineering. They reveal the Aztecs' deep understanding of ecology and community work. Today, some parts of Mexico still use Chinampas, keeping alive a tradition of sustainable farming rooted in ancient times.